Hi, my name is Dawn, and I'm a decorative painter and mural painter out of New York. My company name is Surfaces with Paint. I come to you today in a client's home. I am doing the old world plaster finish. Here it is, beautiful finish, great finish to do on walls that are slightly imperfect. The way I do this finish is I trowel on white plaster, actually texture paint. I get it from Home Depot, it's pretty cheap. It's bare texture paint and I use the smooth finish. They have sand finish, they have the popcorn finish, but I use the smooth finish. It's very thin. I apply a very thin coat. I mean, really, you can only feel it's extremely thin. And I trowel it on with a 6-inch putty knife, and then I knock it down and drag through it to give it this textured look. So that way, when I glaze over it, the glaze will settle in the recessed areas, and I wash off the top so you can see the texture. It's just really, really gorgeous. So I'm going to walk you through some of the steps. First of all, I told you that I use a texture paint. That's actually the first step, but the most important step is prepping. If you don't prep right, your job is screwed. I like to use blue tape, I use paper, I go around the windows, the ceiling, over the top of the windows, and also the baseboards to protect everything. And I think that is extremely important, so that way when you take everything down, you don't have a mess. If we'll come over here, and I'm just going to walk you through how I do this. As you can see, the texture is already on, and then I paint over it. I prefer to use pearl finish paint. I use Benjamin Moore or satin finish paint, so it has a little bit of a sheen to it. You really can't see it, but it makes the glaze very movable on the surface. So here is the painted surface, 2 coats on top of the white plaster. There's no need for even priming on top of this plaster. And I have a glaze, paint glaze mixture, and usually I use 3 parts glaze and to 1 part paint. Okay, so I have I think this is a car sponge, but I dip it into the glaze and then I wash it in. It's pretty easy. Just wash it in. Sometimes circular motions, sometimes diagonal X motions, but I want to blend it in to the area and even overlap a little on the area that I already did. So you can see here, blending. I don't want to leave any blotchy spots, so I'm blending it in. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And I use a wet kitchen sponge. And this has a little bit more texture than this sponge, and it works really well in taking off the surface glaze. So that way we have the glaze settles in the recessed areas. So then I'm wiping it off and wiping it in. So you can see it just reveals such a gorgeous look here. I love this, one of my favorite finishes. Okay, so I'm blending that in. We want to blend it into the area that's already been done. Okay, it's pretty easy. Just takes a lot of arm power, especially if you have a large job. This was a very large job. So we have a bucket of water here. I like to keep my water pretty clean, so you know, each wall I'll wipe get a new bucket of water. And then with my last pass, I'm just gently going over the surface. Okay, so as you can see here, it brings out even more depth and dimension. And that's exactly what we want. what we're left with. I mean, it's really beautiful. And you can take a step back and look and see if there are areas that are a little too light, a little too dark, and add or take away accordingly. And then, I mean, just keep going. Blending in the rest into the area you did. Just blending in. And then you just keep going. I go from top to bottom because if you're using a wet sponge, the sponges can drip, so you have to be really careful. So when you're up at the top, and if you start at the bottom and you drip, that can cause a big problem. Actually, let me show you what it does. And it's very annoying. So, I mean, so now you can see, big drip mark. That's a definite no-no, because then you have to blend in again and start again. So start at the top and work your way down. Okay. So that is the Old World Plaster finish. Again, my name is Dawn, and my company is called Surfaces with Paint. My website is www.surfaceswithpaint.com. Thanks for watching.